welcome to Ben TV. It's your host, Bibi Daudu speaking, and it's so good for you to join us today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today we are talking politics. Yes, we are really going there. We're talking about Lagos, to be precise, under the governor of Sanwo-Olu, and I'm joined here by Mr. Gbenga Omotosho, who's going to enlighten us on the achievements and the administrative of Governor Sanwo-Olu. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And on your view, can you just share some light on what has Governor Sanwo-Olu achieved so far in the state of Lagos State?
Well, a lot. When Mr. Bayede Sanwo-Olu was coming in as a governor, he had a plan to develop all the areas of Lagos, and the plan he put in what we call the themes agenda, which is the foundation of the development and plan of the state government for the state. And the themes agenda, THEMES, transport and traffic management, health and environment, education and technology, making Lagos a 21st century economy, and entertainment and tourism, and then security and governance. So in all these pillars, Mr. Sanwo-Olu has done a lot. Consider traffic management and transportation, for example. Apart from the fact that we've been able to build as many roads as possible, traffic management has gotten better in Lagos with the hiring of more traffic officers. Over 1,000 of them were hired to join the people who were there before to ensure that there is enough manpower in that area. And apart from that, we have what we call junction improvement program. Some roundabouts, key roundabouts where you have gridlocks. By the way, 60 gridlock points were identified in Lagos when the governor was coming in. And he went straight on to tackle these gridlocks. And one of the things he used is this junction improvement program, whereby some roundabouts were removed and they were remolded on Allen Avenue, on at Maryland, in Lekki, roundabout 1, roundabout 2, they were removed for a reordering of the whole place, and now traffic is flowing better in Ikotun and so many other places. And all the potholes that were identified as causing traffic gridlocks at that time were removed. And in the area of transportation, people were what we call intermodal transport system, whereby people have been encouraged to use the waterways, to use a road, and then what we are doing now about rail. By the end of this year, by the grace of God, as scheduled, we will have our blue line and the red line ready in Lagos, and by first quarter of next year, they will be okay for commercial transportation for commercial purposes. And we have injected over 1,000 cars into the system for lag ride, like you have car hailing companies using them. So about 1,000 of them. And then we now have what we have called first mile and last mile buses running in Lagos. Those are the buses that have replaced Okada in some areas where motorcycles, commercial motorcycles used to operate. And then we have about 900 brand new high capacity buses that are running in Lagos. And then on the waterways, when Mr. Bayede Sanwo-Olu came in, we had about 7 ferries operating in Lagos. Today we have 21. And so many routes have been opened up, and then we have dredged the waterways for people to be able to move. So if we continue to say what Mr. Bayede Sanwo-Olu has done based on the themes agenda, we can continue to state everything from now to tomorrow. In the area of health, for example, he got a global recognition for the way the administration fought COVID-19. And COVID-19, a calamity that came to humanity in a manner that had never been seen before. And when it came to Lagos, we found an advantage in it. It was for us an opportunity to improve on our healthcare system. So if you get to our hospitals nowadays, as I speak with you now, 5 major hospitals are being renovated on Abbey Road, on Lagos Island, the General Hospital, the one in Isolo, and all other things. Our personnel are better trained now to handle such things like COVID-19 and other emergencies that may arise in their field. So it's an opportunity for us to inject equipment into the system, to inject personnel training into the system, and to improve on our infrastructure. And we have built at least 5 modern and child hospitals, so that infant mortality has gone down in Lagos, unlike what it used to be before. And these hospitals in Ikoto, in Badagry, in Ekpe, in Kuruju, all of them, they are in Etiosa. They are doing well, and they have contributed to bringing down the infant mortality rate in Lagos. So in the health sector, a lot has happened. And so you have in education, we have a program called the QSL program, whereby now very young students who are just coming into school can now speak English fluently, and they are doing well in their primary education. And teachers are trained using tablets all over schools. They do the same timetable, the same curriculum. Everything is the same. It's uniform in school through the use of technology. And teachers themselves are very happy, apart from the fact that they are well paid and well motivated. They now see that the kind of training that the government is giving them is the kind of training that can make them to compete anywhere in the world. So they are excited to do their job, and they have seen that, unlike what it used to be, where they say that teachers' rewards are in heaven, now they get their rewards here on earth, right here and then in Lagos State. So teachers are very happy. In secondary school, our schools are doing very well. They are winning awards. And before, we used to have something like 36% pass in West African school certificate examination. Today, it's gone up to about 89%. And the next one now, we are expecting that it should go up to 90% and more. So in education, a lot has happened, and then we are doing very well. And in other areas, you talk about justice, you talk about agriculture, you talk about any other aspect of governance, as based on the themes agenda, the government has really done very well. Security, whatever you can think of it, Lagos is seen as the safest state in Nigeria today. And it's been able to cope because of the ingenuity of the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration, and what he's been able to achieve through the private sector and the public sector coming together to ensure that Lagos is safe and secure for Lagosians and visitors alike.
Wow, I mean, that's quite an extensive record right there that you mentioned. Thank you so much. But in your speech, you were talking about the Okada, and they've been banned in some places. How has Governor Sanwo-Olu managed to calm down the agitation of the stakeholders?
Well, the very good thing about the restriction on Okada, commercial motorcycles, is that the agitation came from Lagosians themselves. Lagosians felt that the advantages that they were getting on through commercial motorcycling, that the advantages are far, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. So they are not happy about it, and they wanted the government to do something about it. So the government said, okay, insist local governments, let us remove Okada, because it is not even part of the transportation plan that I've elaborated here for Lagos. So the government said, okay, let Okada be taken out of these 6 local governments, and let's see how it's going to go. And so far, so good. Hospital attendance, emergencies, they have reduced, and police are saying that crime has come down, because people used to use Okada as a getaway tool from crime scenes, but that is no longer there nowadays, especially in these 6 local governments.
So, what is in place for those Okada riders that are no longer using the Okada to actually earn a living in Lagos at present? You know, you talk about security. When they're not working, they tend to do other things. Well, I'm not to say crime, but what is in place for them in terms of job replacement?
Lagos is a land of opportunities. People come into Lagos without knowing nobody, without having anything, and they get out of they get to see Lagos as a place where they can make it, and they actually come in to make it without knowing anybody. So Lagos, for anybody who doesn't want to do that business, is a pot of opportunities. He just needs to go there. In Agric, Lagos has a program under which people are giving land to go and farm. You are not just giving land or left to your own devices. You are giving seedlings. You are supported in every way for you to be able to do well. There is a Lagos State Employment Trust Fund where people can go into, you send in a very good proposal, they finance it for you. It's small businesses that are there. There is a lot of empowerment programs that we are doing for people who are not even schooled at all, people who are seen not to have any skill that they can sell. Lagos has 21 vocational training centers where thousands of people pass out every year. And when they pass out, they are not even left to their own devices. They are given equipment and at times cash to go and start off a trade. So anybody who thinks Okada riding is the only thing that he or she can do in Lagos, the person needs to be more creative. The person needs to be more inventive. Lagos is a home for everybody who has skills to sell, and those who don't have skills to sell, they are even trained to learn skills. So I think there are so many things anybody who has lost his job as an Okada rider can do.
All right, so thank you for that. That's actually quite informative. That leads me to my next question. Youth and youth unemployment, youth crime, and you talked about education, passing out, and employment. What the average youth in Nigeria, that's what they always talk about. There's no employment there, there's no empowerment there. What has Governor Sanwo-Olu done on this administrative to empower the youth and give them job? What kind of infrastructures is out there as an average youth?
Young people have so many opportunities in Lagos. As I speak with you now, those who have skills in sports, they have, apart from what the state government is doing for them to encourage them, we are building 8 stadia in various parts of Lagos State for our young people to be able to showcase their talents in sports. In arts and entertainment, we have a fund where people who want to go into filmmaking, script writing, and all of that can go into, they are trained. I mean, these are things that our young people do. They are trained and they can get money from a committee that can give them money for them to go and do whatever they want to do in filmmaking and all of that.
Is this money grant or
Grants?
loan?
No, it's not a loan.
Okay.
Just grants to help them, especially people who are in entertainment business. And apart from that, there is another fund for people who are in science and technology, who are inventors, who have startup companies, that things to showcase. And there are so many of them that have been coming out of Lagos and getting global attention through this fund. So they can go there and get money if they have anything that has to do with science and technology for inventions. Then they will be getting these grants for them to be able to do that. All these for our young people. And apart from that, many of them have been put in various positions in government offices. And besides that, those who are in the arts sector too, they have an opportunity to come in and get support from the government to go and do whatever they want to do to expose their talents. And then there is a Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. If you have a business idea supported by banks like Access Bank and the rest of them, and government putting in a lot of money in it, young people are going there with their proposals, and then they get their businesses supported through funds coming in from here, just grants. Nothing compared with what we pay if you go to a bank to raise money. So there are so many opportunities for our young people to be able to showcase their talents and then reach their potential.
That sounds awesome. I mean, can an average person on this road know what to do and how to access those funding? I mean, do you have like a website or any forum where these youth can actually go into and tap into this awesome opportunities that's actually out there for them?
Right. If you go to Lagos State government website, you can get information. If you go to Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, you can get information. If you go to the website of Ministry of Tourism, you can get information about people in entertainment who are looking for how to fund their ideas.
That's awesome. All right, thank you. So let's move on to talk about the First Lady. She's a doctor, medical doctor. Can you give us examples how mothers and ladies especially has benefited from her initiative program?
Yeah, so many things. Like I've just spoken about the mother and child hospitals that we have built in Lagos, in Etiosa, in Badagry, and some other places. Being a doctor, the First Lady shows special interest in all these programs and ensures that children, infant mortality is brought to the BRS level in Lagos, or even the target is to ensure that it gets to 0%. As I speak with you now, there is a program that is going on in Lagos about free medical outreach in some parts of Lagos, moving from one local government to the other. It's part of the ideas of the First Lady, and she is fiscally supporting the program by attending the program and then leading the charge against all these minor diseases that people have and they cannot come to the hospital, but you now take medical to them in their homes, in their villages, in their areas. So the First Lady is involved in that. And then I spoke about new babies being born, what they need to take, and all of that. The Office of Civic Engagement has a program for that, and the First Lady is also quite interested in all of that. So women initiatives are many in Lagos that we are doing in terms of empowerment, in terms of training for women, and all of these are things that the First Lady's office is also involved in.
So it's a lot in there, jam-packed information. So we are going to go for a break right now, and stay tuned. I'm sure there's more to come for the Lagosian, especially in diaspora. Thank you for watching.
The road has been very bad. We have potholes. Anytime it rains, it's very, very, very messy.
Actually, the bad condition of road has affected this area for a long period of time. I'm so happy Lagos State had remembered this road, and I believe this will boost ourselves in this area. God bless you.
Lọ́wọ́ Lagos State, adúpẹ́ gidi gan ni. Àwa ló kàn, ó dẹ̀ ti kàn wá lé ní báyìí. So, ó ti gbé kíní wá, ó dẹ̀ ti gbé wá fún wa lé nínú, á dẹ̀ dùn gan. I'm really appreciate what Lagos State did.
This is a link road between Egbeda and Idimo, and it's a very commercial road which the private car and the commercial car uses every day. Almost 1,000 cars pass here, and this is an avenue for us to have a smooth ride in this street. Thank you.
Please, I'm almost too bad, because sometimes if I want to pass here, I have to go and turn round before to pass here. But now, I'm happy I can move at any time I want.
Dùn torí ọ̀nà yìí ti bàjẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run bá wa ṣe, Lagos State bá wa ṣe, ó dẹ̀ fi ọ̀rọ̀ wa sí wọn lọ́kàn. Kódà even náà mọ̀ pé wọ́n máa tètè ṣe ọ̀nà yìí, ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ fún orí ọ̀fẹ́ tá a rí gbà wípé wọ́n tètè bá wa ṣe.
Long time it's been dilapidated, but now we are happy it's being done, and we are grateful to the Lagos State government for doing this.
Welcome back to Ben TV, and thank you so much for tuning in and watching the Focus on Nigeria election that is going on right now. I'm joined in the studio by Mr. Gbenga Omotosho, and we've been talking about all the achievement that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has achieved so far in Lagos, which is quite extensive. So we are moving on to diaspora now. What is the administration is doing in terms of making sure that when people like us come home to visit, because we are hearing a lot of kidnapping, murder, road safety, you know, all the negative things that is really scaring people from actually visiting the motherland. So what is the administrative doing to reassure people that you're welcome home, you're safe home, and we're happy to have you home?
Lagos is the safest state in Nigeria. All of the things that people hear about other states, they are not happening in Lagos. Lagos is a very big city state. About 22 million people live in Lagos. And when you have this kind of figure, there is no way you cannot have crime. You have crime even here in London, everywhere. But the thing is that how do you resolve a crime? There is no serious crime that has happened in Lagos that has not been resolved within 24 hours.
That's good to know.
Within 24 hours. But the government has done a lot of things to prevent crime. The government has been able to support the police. There is a unit of the police that is called Rapid Response Unit that is backed by the Lagos State government. And then apart from the general police that you have, so Lagos has been able to supply this unit and all the others equipment, and welfare issues have been tackled. This is done through the help of the collaboration with the private sector. We have what we call Lagos State Security Trust Fund. And this trust fund, people in the private sector and the government, they have a pool of money that they put into it. And from this pool of money, the state has been able to buy equipment for the police. So they are very happy to do their job, the vehicles that they need, the other things that they need, all the things that were given to the police. So with all of this, constant patrol, and then we have what we call neighborhood watch, who are people who are in the neighborhood who look around and see what is going on. If they find anything strange, they report to the security agencies. So with all of this, I think Lagos is safe, and the records are there for everybody to see. So our people are in the diaspora, they are free to come to Lagos, and nothing untoward will happen to them. If foreigners are coming, I do not see why our people here should be afraid of coming to Lagos.
Thank you so much for that reassurance. So we're here to talk about the election 2023. How optimistic are you for the APC? Do you think Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu will actually win the second term?
Lagosians are very discerning people. Lagosians are people who are very skillful in judging their leaders. And I feel, and I know, and I am sure that Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu has done very well. I think Lagosians are going to give him not just a pass mark, a very, very high grade when the time comes for him to say he's asking for re-election in terms of all of the achievements that they have seen around them. I've just said about security. You may not be able to see it, but you feel it when you get to Lagos that you are secure. So Lagosians, they know this. All of the achievements in transportation, they have seen this, and all of the achievements that I have said in youth empowerment, in women empowerment, in agriculture, in education, everything. Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu has touched all areas. You know, so I feel that when the time comes, the Lagosians will give him not just a pass mark, but a very, very high grade, and ask him to continue.
Thank you so much for watching Ben TV, and thank you for tuning in today on this special program on Focus on Lagos State, featuring the achievement, project and activity of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration. And I'm joined today by Mr. Gbenga Omotosho, Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy. I'm sure there's going to be more to come. So thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.